All along the front, hundreds more beasts of war bellow through the day and night.
Без змін! По готовності постріл!
Above them, drones stalk the skies, hunting for prey below.
We can see everything with the drones.
The Russians, relentless,
Russian attack every day.
trading blood and bodies for weed-choked fields and ruined villages.
Every day Russians go through more than 500 example meters or 1 kilometer.
Just a couple miles from the front, near the embattled city of Pokrovsk, former Nebraska State Senator Tom Brewer tours the line on his 5th visit to war-torn Ukraine.
These spades have to be dug in deep so that it doesn't move.
Here, speaking the language of artillerymen, he was in the first class of U.S. soldiers to fire M777s, the same machine dealing death from this redoubt.
This one, baby.
Living in cramped quarters, these men are hoping for a quiet night.
We normally have a requirement to move the cannon after 3 or 4 rounds because a radar will pick it up and give the trajectory back, and then they'll return fire.
But they can't shift their artillery often because anything moving faces the omnipresent swarms of high-tech, low-cost drones. A few miles away, the war is waged on screen.
Come on, shoot him. Destroy, destroy. They're too close.
These are the hardened laborers of killing, fed by cigarettes and energy drinks. They're watching over a squad of infantry entering a grove guarded by Russians.
Keep moving, keep moving. Those Russians are moving towards the north.
They send attack drones to soften resistance, but they watch as one Ukrainian falls in the fighting.
The doctor is shot.
These, the grim faces of those keeping the Russians at bay.
We are a strong country with one of the best spirits. If we don't stop Putin in this place, it can be continued in Europe.
But there's only so much these soldiers can do to ward off Russia's war on civilians near the front. I follow the Global Empowerment Mission, or GEM, out to a town near Pokrovsk. Every day, the people living in Rodinska face the terror of drones and artillery fire. They're just about 10 kilometers from the contact line, meaning they're almost entirely dependent on organizations like GEM to supply their basic food and water needs.
А так, вроде бы, воды нет, света нет с октября месяца, сентября месяца 18-го.
The sounds of playing children, a shattered memory. The air carries a different chorus.
Нет, мы привыкли, не страшно. Страшно вот эти дроны, самолетики.
This van holds 150 boxes of food, not enough for everyone. The sleepless crowd tense. That calm elusive, the quiet never.
Я хотела вообще не знаю, что мне хотелось, чтобы это скорее уже прекратилась эта война. А так, мира хочется.
Difficult to survive, we want peace. Joining us in the studio now, former Nebraska State Senator, retired Army Colonel, and war veteran Tom Brewer. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You just got back Wednesday from your last trip there. Are we closer to an end? You heard the woman say we want peace.
I don't think we're closer. I think that Putin knows that he has the upper hand right now. He's pushing hard in the east. They're gaining small bits of ground, and they're doing it at a tremendous cost. You know, I think around 1,500 a day killed is what Russia's paying right now for a few kilometers. But I think he feels that he has a position where the offer that was made, which I would not have agreed to give them all the land they've got, to let them keep Crimea, and to not let them in NATO or EU, was a terrible price to pay to end the war. I think Ukraine is trying to work with a reasonable solution to that, but at this point, I don't see Putin letting the war end.
Okay.
And Ukraine is changing quickly how they fight the war, but they're doing it on skeleton crews. And that's what worries me, is that if Russia was to mass enough and have a breakthrough, it could be a pretty long summer.
Colonel, and you've traveled there many times. I've traveled with you over the years. what have you noticed in terms of the changing nature of the face of this war? How does the situation now compare to when you first went?
Well, when I first went, it was a pure linear war, and it was what we call old style war, where we had artillery and armor, and you fought a land war trying to take back ground, and it was who had the most artillery and who had the most accurate and dependable tanks and things like this. What it is now is it's a pure drone war. From when you and I were there together in May till now has changed. Now nothing moves on the front, except during a 30-minute period at nautical twilight, in the morning and the evening. That's the only time they're changing over drones, so the thermals aren't up and usable. And so if you're wounded in the morning, you are there all day and they try to evac you. But everything comes alive for that short period of time, and then the rest of the day, the battlefield is this eerie sound of nothing but drones overhead.
You know, since the war started, U.S. has allocated about $185 billion overall in assistance to Ukraine. About $125 billion from the Department of Defense. Colonel, is there worry that the U.S. is giving too much to Ukraine?
Well, if you compare it to other fights, let's say, for example, Afghanistan. We did hundreds of billions to Afghanistan, and we committed over, well, during the height of it, we were over 100,000 soldiers to a country that did not want us there, and that we could not walk around without fear of being shot by locals. A country that had no systemic value except maybe the airfields. Beyond that, we had a situation where we existed as an occupying army for that period of time we were there. Here we have a country that is the breadbasket, not just to Europe, but to Central Asia, to North Africa. It's a country that no matter where we went, to these small villages, the little old ladies would thank you and hug you. And you know, we went from a country who hated us and we gave everything to and fought for, to now have a country that just wants enough help to stay free. Right. And we're paying, but a lot of what we're giving them is American products that are being built here, and we're replacing our broken stuff in Europe with brand new stuff and giving them the broken stuff. And so, you know, people, if you don't study it and understand, you know, what we're actually doing over there, it's easy to say, we shouldn't be involved. But in reality, if we're not involved, I believe our sons and grandsons will. I just think that the situation is such that Russia is going to be emboldened if they win, and they will embolden China. And we have now a situation where we'll have a world war that we will lose hundreds of thousands of Americans, where we could put it to bed here and stop Russia, take away the confidence that China's going to have that they can positively affect the war, and put Russia where they need to be right now, and that's, you know, within the confines of their own country.
Well, Senator, thank you much for coming in today. I appreciate it. We could talk for a long time about it. Appreciate your service too. I mean that.
Thank you, Rob.
Next year on Chronicle Wounds of War, the Brotherhood of the Broken, the survivors in Ukraine, carrying mental, physical scars as they face an uncertain future in their homeland. We'll be right back.